we're going to have some very good action on Friday. And this is what it looks like. This is what's on BoxRec so far. Lavelle Whittington against Reito Tsutsumi. It's only showing 4 fights at the moment. Ryan Garcia, of course, Rolando Romero. Devin Haney against Jose Carlos Ramirez. Teofimo Lopez against Arnold Barboza Jr. And we can start with that one, Chris, because on the fight posters, it seems like this will be the third to last fight for us. Let's go straight to that poll before we get into this. We know that, Teofimo, friend of the show, entertaining guy. Arnold Barboza, also a friend of the show, one of our first guests since way back then. We know him very, very well. We know he's been wanting this fight for a long time. So this is going to be very interesting. And our votes should be interesting. Chris, are we going to vote with the heart? Are we going to vote with our brains? Are we going to have some bias?
Oh man, obviously the bias is going to kick in to an extent. Uh, you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
I can go first. All right. I can go first because I am very intrigued to see what this poll looks like. Who will win between Lopez and Barboza? There's about 130 votes thus far. I'm gonna just go ahead and press on this man on top right here, Teofimo Lopez, 77%, 23% Arnold Barboza. My opinion is that Teofimo Lopez will win by decision. I think Barboza can make it close, and if he can catch Teofimo slipping, he might get that W. But I think he's gonna have a perfect night. He's gonna need to have a perfect night, Barboza. We know Teofimo Lopez is strong. He has power. He has speed. He's very agile. He has that championship experience. He's beaten top champions. We're gonna go ahead and take a look at his resume right now. And then Barboza himself, he's coming off a good run, beating Jack Catterall in the UK, beating Jose Carlos Ramirez. He's fought through wars. He's outboxed guys. He's knocked guys out. I think this is his moment, and this is gonna be a great fight. I think I'm gonna favor slightly Teofimo. I'm gonna say decision, and yeah, like I said, it's gonna be very interesting because we know Arnold Barboza very, very well, Chris.
Yeah, no, I'm not mad at it. You're voting with with their brain. You're voting, based on what they've done, levels wise in the sport. Not mad at it. I know you're trying to play catch up, so I'm not mad at it. Yeah, the polls showed that Delfino was a big favorite. Obviously, a more recognizable name. Obviously, we know what he's done. Especially early in his career, he's only had one setback, and that's when he was having outside problems. It's well documented. This Delfino was very focused. So I see why people are voting for him. Again, I think the skill portion favors him, the athletic portion favors him. He's definitely he's definitely more focused now than when he fought Camboso, so that's scary. Obviously, I have a bias. And I'm gonna go with my bias this time around. I'm gonna say Barbosa wins a razor thin split decision. I think he's got the momentum. I think he carries more of a will in this fight. Again, we know that he's been wanting this fight for 5, 6 years. He's had to go through, two different promotions to get to the spot. He's been denied time and time again. And I feel like there's been times where, you know, fights where we thought he was gonna come up short and he's won him. He's won him razor thin, but he's won him. So he's got that extra factor. What he lacks in I say overall elite skill, he makes up with grit and overall focus. So again, I think it's a very, very tough fight, and you might be right. You might come out of this one with a W, but I'm gonna go with Barbosa. I think he edges out a razor thin, but he has to be, like you said, on point 100% of the night. And I think he's gonna have to bust the Cambosos and knock Delfimo once or twice just to win those 10-8 rounds. So I'm gonna say Barbosa split decision. Obviously, going with my heart. I'm a huge fan of Teofimo too. I think he's very entertaining. He's great for boxing. He's been keeping the lights on in the boxing world alongside Ryan Garcia, in my opinion. But I'm gonna go with Barbosa decision.
I hope Barboza humble still, but I doubt it, says Big Bro. Man, yeah, it's going to be a great fight. And let's look at how there coming into this one, Barboza and Teofimo. Teofimo 21 and 113 KOs, 27 years old. He's coming off a win against Steve Claggett, Chris, Jermaine Ortiz, Josh Taylor, Sandor Martin, Pedro Campa. That loss to Cambosos, his last one was 2021, his only loss, actually, in a very close one. Before that, he defeated two champions in Vasily Lomachenko. Asterisk for me, still not convinced about that one. And before that, knocked out Richard Comey. He also defeated Nakatani. So he has some good names under his belt. The most obviously notable ones, Lomachenko and Taylor at two different weight classes. I like this fight. Both of these men, I'm sure, wanted this fight for a long time. I think Barboza did his thing, getting his name up there in the rankings, getting his name out there. Now signed to Golden Boy. As I said, coming off that Jack Catterall win in the UK, coming off that Jose Ramirez fight as well. That one was in Saudi Arabia. And he defeated other tough guys like Danielito Zorrilla and Alex Saucedo. So he has some names on his resume too. The 33-year-old out of South El Monte, Arnold Barboza Jr., 32-0, 11 KOs. I think this is the right time for this fight. It's going to be an exciting one.
But I see a very focused Arnold Barboza. He's got the momentum. I'm hoping and banking on the momentum. Again, these two guys are awesome. They're great for the sport, and I can't wait to see a great competitive fight. I agree with Big Bro. It could be a snoozer as it comes to a technique kind of fight, but I feel like there's too much animosity that a fight won't break out. So I'm hoping for that.
Is that Teofimo Lopez in the Santo mask, Chris?
Yeah,
Is that
that
him?
was him. Yeah, yeah. I don't know what that was about, but I just know he's there to entertain. Again, that's the name of the game. That's how you get people excited. That's how you get people to pay for these pay-per-views. So I'm never going to be against entertainment. So again, I got my bias, and I'm rooting for Arnold to win this one. But Delfimo's good for boxing. At the end of the day, the better man will win come fight night.
Yeah, what was up with the mask, Chris? Why was he wearing a mask?
They asked him, they're like, "What's with the mask?" I don't know. I think Delfino was just being silly. He's just being goofy. I don't know if he was trying to rally the Mexican faithful behind him. I don't know if he was, what he was trying to do there. Maybe he was trying to get under his skin. We know Arnold is obviously Mexican American. Oh my god, I just saw it, bro. Just
What?
saw it. Okay, good one, good one, good one. That's a
Hey,
good one, Gio.
I didn't even know about the mask. I hope you guys can hear me. I actually never wore this mask before, Chris. I didn't know he had wore the mask. It popped up right here on Google, and I happen to have one from the last time I went to Mexico. I have this mask, so hey, why not? Shout out to Tofimo, trendsetter.
Mhm.
I don't think so, but let's go ahead and move on, man. I want to take this mask off, so can't even breathe in this thing. But um,
Um,
yeah, let's go ahead and move on. What do we have next, man? Of course, we got Devin Haney against Jose Ramirez. Uh, the co-main event, Chris. Devin Haney is now the undercard on a Ryan Garcia card, Chris. Obviously, Ryan Garcia, the main event. Devin Haney. Look at that. 31 and 0, Chris. Do you believe that? Should we believe Google?
no, no. Again, we saw that beat down again. I get it. I understand they're upset. I understand that Ryan failed the drug test. I get all that, but those knockdowns were there. Everybody saw it. Nobody expected Ryan to land those. We all thought that David Haney had. I don't want to say Mayweather as defense, but we thought he was more sound than that, and that he wouldn't get caught with that. But it just shows, that Ryan's speed can get you, and so yeah, I know there's been a lot of drama. I don't know if you've been paying attention to this Bill Haney, Oscar De La Hoya, Ryan Garcia back and forth. But it's entertainment. That just builds up this whole fight weekend even more. And man, we're here for it, man.
All right, so Devin Haney, 31 and 0, asterisk. Obviously, uh, 15 KOs. Let me pull that up for you guys so you guys can take a look at it. coming off that Ryan Garcia no contest is what they're calling it. But we all saw it, as Chris said. He got manhandled in that one. Took an L. Regis Prograis, good victory for him. Lomachenko, another asterisk there. Cambosos twice. Joseph Diaz, Jorge Linares, and that's when he was fighting the older veterans. And Jose Carlos Ramirez coming off a loss to Arnold Barboza Jr. It's kind of surprising that he gets this fight, but kind of probably just a bounce back fight for Devin Haney. I'm gonna just say it straight up. I think Devin Haney wins by decision. Jose Carlos Ramirez, 29-2, 18 KOs, 32 years old. He's not that old, but he sure does fight like it, Chris. He fights like an old man. He doesn't move his head. I think that jab is going to be on his face all day. And yeah, I have Devin Haney. I think he shouldn't have too much trouble with Jose Ramirez at this stage of his career. Let's go ahead and go with the poll. I'm just going to click on Devin Haney here. 47% out of the nearly 140 votes. 47% are saying Haney. 53 Jose Ramirez, Chris.
Wow. Wow. That is interesting, man. That is interesting. Wow, that's interesting. Again, I mean, obviously we have a mixture of boxing fans and mainstream fans. Demographics obviously have to play a factor in that. Most boxing fans would favor Devin Haney. Most boxing fans would say what you just said, and that he's gonna box his way to a decision. We kind of feel that Ramirez is past his prime and he's a little too one dimensional for Devin Haney. I mean, even Devin Haney is right when he says that he's tailor made for him. So that's a little surprising, Jill. But I don't know. Maybe people are seeing that Devin Haney's paying more attention to Ryan Garcia than the guy in front of him. I know that Ramirez early on said this. The media's disrespecting me. Devin Haney's giving me more respect, but I don't know, man. The last couple of days, Gio, I feel like Devin Haney, Bill Haney have been more focused on Ryan as opposed to the guy that's in front of them. And again, this is boxing. I don't think Ramirez shocked him, but hey, one punch, the right guy with the right mentality, with the right game plan can shock you. So again, I think Ramirez feels like he can upset, and I think a lot of the fans that voted that way think so too. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're just trolling Devin Haney. I feel like changing my vote just to troll him. Just so Jose Ramirez can have a bigger percentage there. But yeah, as Big Bro says here, should be a shutout. If Ramirez wins 2 rounds, I'll be shocked, he says.
Yeah, I want to give Ramirez more credit. Again, I don't see him winning, but I do see him winning uh more than 3 rounds in my opinion. At least four. I think he makes it more complicated than what people are giving him. Again, he was great at what 135, 140. He had this high volume punching that brought him a lot of success, that brought him a title. So I think he feels like he needs to reverse the father time. I don't think he does it, but again, this is boxing, Gio. Anything can happen, and maybe Devin Haney's more shook up from the Ryan Garcia fight than he's letting on. So yeah, I just want to see a competitive fight, Gio. Obviously, I'm going with Devin Haney, but if I see a competitive fight and I see Ramirez winning, I won't be mad at that.
All right, and let's go ahead and move on to the main event, which is supposed to be in Times Square, Chris, supposedly free for the fans. I'm hearing it's invite only for the people around the ring, and possibly the sections outside of that area will be free for fans. But we'll see how it turns out, man. I saw a setup of the ring and how they were putting that together, or trying to put that together. I think Ring Magazine posted a video on their Instagram. So that should be pretty cool, and I'm sure a lot of eyes on that. I'm sure a lot of them see a ring, see that Ryan Garcia billboards everywhere, and are kind of wondering what's going on. Hopefully that helps bring more eyes to this. But yeah, let's get into that main event. Ryan Garcia, Rolando Romero. This is also a fight that's been brewing for so long between these two. It stemmed apparently from those sparring videos back in the day. We had Rolly on our show around that time period, and all he talked about was those sparring videos. This is when he had a few pro fights under his belt, and he went on there and talked smack about Ryan. I'll bring some of those clips back, Chris. I'll post some of them on Instagram and on YouTube, so you guys can take a look at it. A young Rolly beefing it with Ryan. Now they fight. I think it's a good comeback fight for Ryan Garcia. Suspended after 1 year for those alleged banned substances in the fight against Devin Haney. Won that fight against Devin Haney. They turned it into a no contest because of that. Suspended a year, and now he is back against his longtime rival, Rolly Romero. And I would say most people are expecting, Ryan Garcia to win this fight, even after the layoff. Probably is not going to hurt him that much. Rolly Romero 16-2. He lost his 2 fights versus one versus Isaac Cruz and one versus Gervonta Davis. He was stopped in both of them. 16-2, 13 KOs for the 29-year-old Rolly. Ryan Garcia on the other hand, 24-1, 20 KOs. That lone defeat also to Gervonta Tank Davis.
Again, I see Ryan stopping Rolly, and again, Rolly's a cool dude, funny dude, good for boxing, entertaining. He's made the most out of the opportunities he's been given. So like I don't think he's taking this for granted. I know he's locked in, he's focused, he's in shape. But I don't see it being any different than the Pitbull Cruz fights and the those fights where he's got knocked out, unfortunately. What do you think, Joe?
All right, so you got Ryan by stoppage. He's in a KO Rolly.
Yeah, I think so. I'm
All right.
gonna say that. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah, that's my prediction too. I think a left hook. Bah! And I think, unfortunately, I think Rolly might go down. He probably won't get up, but yeah, man, shout out to Rolly. As I said, friend of the show, entertaining guy, cool guy. But man, I think that Ryan left hook, man, if somebody who was supposed to have good defense like Devin Haney couldn't figure that one out, I don't think Rolly's going to figure it out. But yeah, let's go do a brief recap. You got Barboza by decision. Haney by decision. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And then Ryan by KO. I'm going with Dale by decision, Haney by decision, Ryan by KO.